Max One-on-One.
My head up my soul, I don't know where to go. Baby, bring it on home. Bring it on home.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Max One-on-One. Today, I have the privilege. What a talented guy, Donnie Vie. He has more than 25 records. He's been in the business, in the music industry for, I don't know, 30 years plus, maybe more. We're going to ask him. So let me introduce him. I don't want to make this introduction so extensive. How are you, Donnie? And thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure. Thanks for thinking of me.
Yeah, man. No, I thank you, for your music and for all these years, of delivering, beautiful music. So, my first question is, when did you start, or when did you realize you would be a musician full time? Back in the day when you were a kid?
I'm still trying to figure that out. Yeah, probably when I was very small. There was never anything else for me but this. This is the only thing I focused on and concentrated on in my whole life.
hmm Do you start like writing song first? That's what you came to you first?
I didn't start writing songs until
Okay.
I was probably 15 or 16 years old.
Okay.
I was just, learning to sing and singing all the time and learned to play the guitar and things like that. It's like most musicians.
Yeah.
I started singing very young though.
Were your Beatles your heroes? Were the Beatles your first love as a band?
Absolutely. Yeah,
Wow.
that was the first stuff I listened to, and it just rang, the bells went off for me when I heard that stuff, and I just studied it and learned, subconsciously learned how to, put a lot of things together with
Yeah.
musically by listening to the Beatles, and then I started listening to other things, a lot of Motown and stuff like that.
What's your favorite album from the Beatles?
Oh,
Tell me mine.
that's hard to say. They're different ones for different reasons,
Wow.
love them all.
Then, what was the first band? It was Enuff Z'nuff, or you had a previous band before?
Nothing to speak of. My first actual professional band where I went out and played concerts and things like that was Enuff Z'nuff. Yeah,
Ah,
I was very young.
yeah. And how old were you? Like 20 years old? Like 19?
Well, when I first hooked up with Chip, probably I don't know, 17 or 18.
Oh, wow. Two
Yeah,
little kids.
I just started everything basically at that time, and he taught me a lot.
The second guy to love. Well, I have got a pretty little girlfriend who tells me all the time she'll be forever mine. And she says that your baby loves you. Yes, your baby loves you. Yeah, your baby loves you. Nothing's gonna hurt you.
Yeah, wow. And then, when you got the first album, Enuff Z'nuff, then you went to David Letterman, or that was for the second album? I remember you singing
Uh,
for David Letterman show.
I've been on that a couple of times.
Okay.
I believe it was by the second record we
Wow.
started to do TV shows and stuff. Yeah.
Very cool. What do you think it was different from your band, back in the day in the 90s where all these, glam exploded? What do you think it was different? And then I tell you my.
From the rest of the bands, just about everything. We just totally different musical influences in the writing. As
Yes.
I'm primarily the writer, and where my influences came from aren't where I don't think any of the other, well, at least the other artists weren't reflecting that in their music. I know a lot of people are influenced by similar things, but they weren't reflecting that in their writing. And
Got it.
I was, the whole glam thing and heavy metal and all that stuff like that. That was something that really wasn't something that I foreseen myself ever doing.
hmm
That kind of happened at the time. The sound of the band except for maybe some of the heavy guitars, I didn't envision like a Derek Frigo type guitar player playing with me, and so it was that we had to learn. I had to learn to adapt and adjust, with musically and production wise, like they had to learn to adjust to my writing style, my vocals.
Got it.
I definitely don't sing like any of those guys.
Exactly, and also the harmonies. I think you put a lot of emphasis. There are a lot of things that I love about your music in those years, and of course, the actual music that you're producing now. But in those years, the harmonies, even the spaces, the silence between, when you go to one section of a song to the other. I don't know. There's so much structure in your songs, that to me made the difference. That's where I realized, oh, this band has something special. Composing, writing songs with Chip together, or it was more you, or 50-50,
When we first started out, I've always been the majority of the
Okay.
songwriting. Like the melodies, a lot of the,
Uh-huh.
he kind of brought me into a heavier veins. I was very, very poppy.
Okay.
In the old days, pop in those days, what we considered pop was like,
Yeah.
but he brought it in, like it stepped it up a little heavier with like the Cheap Trick flavor, you know what I mean? That kind of Chicago power pop sound.
Very
And
cool.
yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. And well, and then you have how many solo albums you have? I was checking your website. You have like probably, I don't know, 10 or more. There are a
Yeah,
lot.
that's debatable. I don't know. Every time I go and ask somebody, that it seems like there's more. They can find more things. I've released like, I don't know, probably. See, I didn't keep track. As like 4 or 5 actual studio albums, and then there's other stuff like Extra Strength and some demo things that I've released, and just various other things that I never really considered albums, but now I guess they are now. Now that you look back on it, that's
Yeah.
probably close to probably close to 10. Stay that way because we just did a new licensing deal with
Okay.
a record label, and so all the records are being re-released and with box set and everything. So
Oh,
for
nice.
for a long time there, I wasn't with the band, and
Yeah.
and that's the main thing. The main reason I do any of this is, or the main reason I think most musicians or artists do this, is for the fans, and so that people can hear, and because I mean,
Hmm.
buying CDs and stuff is getting to be a thing of the past, and I'd rather have the music heard than not heard.
What's the difference that you find between, back in the days in the 80s, when probably when you started, and now, like before it was more, to me it was more kind of a movement, like a lot of kids, sharing stuff, and being, like more human. And now it's all individuals, with their phones, with their own music, like there's no synergy or communication, there's no movement now. It's more about,
Yeah.
individuals and isolated, elements. What do you think?
Disconnected. I think
Yes.
everybody feels. It seems to me that in a way, we're all more connected because we have the abilities and the resources and
Yes.
access to talk to anybody, see anything. You can anything and see it or listen to it, But in those days, there was something a little more special and a little, I think, more magical about things because
Yes.
there was some mystery,
Yes.
and it wasn't all just overexposure, and as connected as we're able to be now, I think we're, like you said, we're very disconnected. That's nothing is like it used to be. Not even just in music, in every aspect of the world now. Everything is just kind of,
Yeah,
it's going
divided.
chaotic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. So, what's your relationship today with Chip? So, it's something that you like to talk about very briefly. Are you guys okay? You talk to each other? I know you guys love each other, but even if you have, I don't know, differences. But in the, you created something so big, for us, the fans that what's the situation nowadays with him?
It was a little rocky for a while there. It was pretty bad.
Yeah,
Between the time that I'd left the band
yeah.
up until recently, that work wasn't working very well for me emotionally and psychologically and spiritually.
Hmm.
I was kind of falling apart there, just with
Hmm.
that the whole way that I felt about him and how I felt about everything and my whole rest of my career, kind of like looking at it all negatively. And I had to the help of this new label bringing us together and relicensing and re-releasing all of the Enuff Z'nuff catalog and
Yes.
stuff, as that brought us to have to talk and to speaking again. And once we started doing that, that's never been a problem with of talking things like that.
Hmm.
Now we're pretty good now.
Uh,
He's playing on my new single, and
awesome.
he's in my new video, and I was on his new record.
Yeah, so Strangers in My Head, right? That song. And now and that's also connected to my last question. What are you doing nowadays? I know you just recorded a video and you have a new song. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
Um, it's uh it's probably my first song like that I've ever written or recorded or released in the style that this is. It's a kind of a party anthem. Like Poison had one, Kiss had one. Everybody
Yeah,
had this anthem, rock and roll all night, party every day. Well, I've never had one of those
cool.
because was my style of writing didn't necessarily lend to something like that until it finally came to me, where it's that sort of vibe, but it also carries the integrity and the stylistics of what I write and sing and stuff like that. So it's not just bang your head and this and that. It's a pretty fun song, and
Very cool.
we're I'm hoping to release it around New Year's,
Oh,
and
nice.
I was ready to release it with this former label that I was with, but then I wasn't feeling any confidence or any help from that label. So I basically took the money that I've got out of this new record deal, and I went and bought all my old records back. So now I own all of my stuff,
Nice.
and I decided to we're retracking it basically, and the song was getting ready to be released, and now I've got I've got different people. I got the guy from Jellyfish playing on it, Roger Manning, my drummer Greg Potter, Chip's playing. I'm getting him to play the bass on it, and it's uh, it's totally different than what it was going to be, because the video we really went all out in the video as well, and it's going to be really a lot of fun. I can't really give
Very
away any
cool.
secrets yet, but it's going to be a lot of fun.
Awesome. I'm excited to hear that, Donnie. And also, what are what's the best way to see your songs, to your videos? Is that you have a YouTube channel, you have a Facebook page or an Instagram page?
Well, I have, of course, I got my website. I guess I have a couple of YouTube channels, I do believe. People help me run all of these things.
Cool.
I'm
I know.
the only I know how to do my personal Facebook page, but I got a professional Facebook page. I got Instagram. I got
Nice, nice.
Twitter. I just started a TikTok.
Oh, nice.
My buddy Larry just started up a TikTok for me within the last couple of weeks, and it's kind of taken off. It's growing, and that's a lot of fun. I didn't, I was clueless to a lot of this shit, all the social media, like Twitter and all those things like that. I never, never knew how to do it or ever focused on any of that, and
Yeah.
it's like I have to catch up with the times, and I'm learning and getting more hands on. And the TikTok thing's pretty fun, though. You can,
Okay, cool. Yeah, yeah, no, but as a musician or me as a interviewer, we have to have these channels, so people can see what we're
yeah.
doing. And
I got a lot of help. I have a lot of help with all of that.
cool. Donnie, I want to thank you so much. I'm a big fan of you. Of your art, your music. I consider you one of the best of the 80s, 90s, of course today too, but in those years, to me, it was something that it was really amazing to listen your music, something very good taste, and you deliver something to us that I really appreciate it. I just wanted you to know that, okay?
Thank you very much. I guess, well, that's mission accomplished then. That's what I was trying to do.
Awesome, brother. All right, thank
I
you so much.
appreciate this. Tear my heart out if I could. I really wish I understood. So what exactly made you go? I feel that I deserve to know. Now I'm out of control of my head, of my soul. I don't know where to go. Baby, bring it on home. Bring it on home. You got a place of your own, baby, bring it on home.
On Max One-on-One.
Bring it on home. You got a place of your